hate to keep comparing Destiny to Mass Effect, but fuck it, let's do this shit one more time to show how fucking lazy Bungie is. Shit, even the YouTube auditor isn't this fucking lazy in between sessions having to go fuck himself. Every now and then gets off his lazy ass and demonetizes my videos for using music in this motherfucker. Like my video on Monday, my 900 video, 15 copyright protections on that motherfucker. I ain't gonna get into that shit, man. Now, oddly enough, the gameplay in the background does not come from me. I ripped this shit off of someone's channel. Yes, I went out and I borrowed some gameplay from Haytred's channel. And Haytred has the perfect channel to steal some content from for me because he doesn't do commentary on his videos. He basically just posted up a whole bunch of Mass Effect videos from years ago. So this isn't anything new that you're seeing in the background. This is from years ago. I went to his channel, swiped that shit, posted it up on my channel. So if he wants to copyright that motherfucker, he can go ahead and get all 2 pennies out this bit. But at least I give the motherfucker credit, man. But anyway, getting into what I was talking about, just last week, Bungie announced the gun balance patch that'll be coming to the game. And I'm going to address that towards the end of this video. Since I was doing the question and answer session last week, I knew that this week I was going to do a video just on this topic, about the lack of gun balance. Well, sure enough, Bungie makes an announcement about their guns and it gives me additional shit to talk about in this video. Before the announcement, this video was going to be posted anyways, but now that I have this incoming patch, it highlights the differences between Mass Effect 3 and Destiny even further. I've made my comparisons between the two in the past, and as different as these two games really are, yes, they do have enough similarities to make a decent comparison. The reality is, though, that every similarity they have in common, Mass Effect blows Destiny out of the water, with the exception of the mechanics and the seamless open world. Mass Effect 3 stomps the shit out of Destiny when it comes to everything else co-op and game balance related. And I know that people might even want to argue about the mechanics that I just mentioned. However, I'll sum that shit up real quick and end this silly debate. In Mass Effect 3, one button did everything. No, literally, your objectives, your cover, downloads, vaulting walls, button mash for health revives, you name it, everything was tied to that one fucking button, which was annoying at times. Destiny simply has better mechanics, there's no doubt about that. However, this video isn't about mechanics, this is all about gun balancing and how Mass Effect did shit right looking back in retrospect. Anyone that has played Destiny since February knows there are some serious balance issues when it comes to guns, whether it's in the Crucible, the co-op portion of the game. Initially, Suros was the king of the castle. Gjallarhorns have always been the go-to weapon for bosses, and the Thorn and Bad Juju were initially terrible. Shotguns were great in the Crucible, bad against the AI. Sniping was the easiest way to get through all the hardest parts of the co-op sections of the game. So since the game came out, Bungie has attempted to tweak their gaming recipes, and they got some things right, and they got some things wrong. The Suros was amazing, so they nerfed every single auto rifle twice just to fuck over the Suros. Hand cannons were buffed and it made them one of the most dominant weapons of the game. Pulse rifles got buffed, making the Red Death one of the best guns in the game. The shotgun was buffed in the environment, making up-close encounters incredibly fun again when it came to the co-op portion of the game. Shit, I love using my found verdict for almost anything co-op related now because of the amount of damage that sucker can do up close. But this video isn't about the buffs and nerfs per se. It's not going to be entirely about the recent announcement of gun updating, but yes, I am going to address a few issues that it has. Yes, the Thorn is a top-notch gun in the game right now. Yes, the last word can defeat the Thorn up close and personal, and the distance stats surely don't match what's on that gun. Yes, the Gjallarhorn is the ultimate boss killer and easily the most powerful weapon in the entire game. Frankly, I don't care. I really don't. Because the issue isn't the guns themselves. The issue is Bungie's slow-ass pace towards balancing the game and their logic behind the balance. And this is where the Mass Effect comparison comes into play. Destiny has a recipe for balance. All games do. And that recipe determines how strong or how weak weapons are in the game. Some games will tweak their recipe more often than others. And in the case of Bungie, they leave shit alone for massive amounts of time. Yes, the Suros was an issue when the game released, but now you have a Thorn issue. Yes, Bad Juju was terrible when the game released, and it got a buff. However, that buff also made the Red Death one of the most unstoppable weapons in the right hands of a good player. The Mythic class was a shit ton overpowered when it released, and since then it's been nerfed down. Actually, the gun's been inadvertently fucked over a number of times because how it's classified. Anytime Bungie touched the fusion rifles, they always seem to forget that it impacts how the Mythic class works. At times it's godlike, at other times they fucking made it average, whatever. I got used to it, it's why I bring it with me almost every single time you see me play the Crucible. In any event, Bungie is slow on the trigger to fixing their recipe. They're dragging their feet while shit isn't working, and this is the exact opposite of what Bioware would do. Every week, Bioware tweaked their recipe. Every week, they tested things out to see if shit was overpowered, underpowered, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes they changed something. They didn't like it, they changed it again. Sometimes they altered a series of items or one particular set of parameters. Although Mass Effect 3 was only co-op, they wanted to make sure that everything was at least fair. Top-notch guns took hits every now and then and they got nerfed. Crap-ass guns got buffed every now and then and make the better weapons. Enemies got buffed or nerfed depending on the scenarios. And that weekly balance update was tied to hotfixes, not patches. Patches would come out every few months to fix the major shit wrong with the game. But gun balance, and to an extent enemy balance, was readjusted every single week. Back when Mass Effect 3 was in style, I had mixed feelings about this. On one hand, it showed that Bioware was actively looking at the landscape of the game. They were actively making adjustments to keep some semblance of balance. But on the other hand, it always felt like we were lab rats being tested on. Oh, this week the Harrier's overpowered, so let's nerf it. 2 weeks later, they're rolling back the nerf just a touch so they can see if it does the trick. Come on, man. Then this week, we need to buff the Banshee, and now she's too tough, so now we need to change her speed. Now we need to change her commando lunge so that she doesn't fucking grab you from 35 fucking feet away. Majority of the time, I appreciated and I understood why changes were made, but there were a few head scratches that made it feel like Bioware was just slapping some shit together and hoping it made sense. So apply that to Bungie. Changes are not made weekly, we know that. Changes are not even being made monthly. And while I get that all of this shit in Destiny is a bitch to change at once, it makes you wonder, why don't they at least have a bi-weekly or monthly update or some shit like that? How fucking hard is it to realize that the Thorn needed to be tweaked? How hard is it to realize auto rifles are fucking terrible? And to wait 5 months to address this shit? I know Bungie will say the corporate thing. They will say that changes take time. They want to do them right. But here's the issue. When Bungie attempts to fix something, they haven't gotten shit right. Auto rifles took 2 straight nerfs. The first one was bad enough, making them unviable in the Crucible, but then the second one made them utterly pointless in co-op. Fusion rifles in the Crucible were massive killers. Now they've been replaced by shotguns. Gjallarhorn is the supreme ruler of all weapons when it comes to boss killers. But in any event, the point of all this is that Bungie is failing to manage their game on a more consistent basis. Sure, patches take a while to create, and I expect that to come out every now and then, but gun balance in the game is something other companies have managed to do without a full-scale patch. Mass Effect 3 was doing them every single week with hotfixes, so it's certainly possible for Destiny to do the same. It's more than possible for Destiny to at least alter their recipe every 2 fucking weeks or every month to keep their decisions in check, particularly the major gun balance issues that the game already has. It's brain fuckingly stupid that they can't make a correction to their overall data on a routine basis. It's fucking pointless to wait for 5 months for the game to get fixed, because think about this for a second. Let's just say they roll out this next gun balance patch. Let's just say they decide we're gonna put out this new patch whenever the fuck they're gonna roll it out. I think they said it's gonna be September whenever the Taken King comes out. Whatever, man. Let's just say the Miter tool now becomes overpowered, or Hard Light now becomes overpowered. What are we gonna do? Wait another 3 fucking months for another patch to fix that shit? Come on, man. This is common sense shit. If something is out of whack, you fix it right away. You fix the problem. You address the shit. The problem is Bungie changes everything all at one time. Instead of saying, let's just tweak these auto rifles just a little bit and see how that counterbalances with the other guns, they don't do it. Let's tweak the auto rifle. Let's tweak the scout rifle. Let's make the hand cannons fucking godly. Let's adjust the shotgun. Let's adjust the machine gun. Fucking shit, man. Just adjust one fucking thing. See how it works. If it's overpowered, work on it. If it's underpowered, fix it. It's not fucking hard to do, but when you change everything at one fucking time, and if it doesn't fix everything, now we have to wait another fucking 5 or 6 months for you to get your shit back together. I've said this going back to Call of Duty. I don't expect perfection, but I do expect studios to show effort, and so far, Bungie's effort is laughably horrible. And now, with this new patch that they're going to be rolling out, they have some shit in there that absolutely infuriates people. But let me start with some of the good things first so we can get through the shit. First off, the hand cannons. Mainly the 3 exotic ones that are dominating the Crucible. Hawkmoon, Thorn, Last Word. There is no question, these are 3 of the top 5 guns that people will use for various reasons. Hand cannons, in general, are very powerful with very little downside, and each one has perks that dominate other weapons. So instead of Bungie just addressing these 3, they go after the entire set like they did with the Suros and the auto rifles months ago. Basically, this is a double nerf to the 3 exotic hand cannons. Without question, the Thorn needed a nerf. And the main thing that I had with that was the range. Yes, the burn damage was fucking annoying, but my biggest pet peeve with the gun, and the reason why I use it in tryhard modes, was the range at which you could hit someone for full damage. There was no hand cannon, with that range and that power. Not even the Hawkmoon. It could not match the range the Thorn had. So naturally, it was the go-to weapon. And now with the range and burn damage being limited, this is a very good thing. The Supreme Bullet from the Hawkmoon is finally being fixed. You know, the one where the one bullet gets the holding aces bonus for like triple damage and kills you one fucking headshot. I don't know how many times I got killed by that Supreme Bullet, but it was fucking annoying. I know I killed people with that 240 damage bullet maybe like 5 or 6 times or whatever the fuck it was, but it always felt like it happened to me 20 to 25 times. Needless to say, that's gone, and that's a good thing. Last Word is amazing up close, but the range it could hit someone with did not match the stats at all. I was getting hit by that shit from across the map, so now that's going to be addressed, as well as the aiming down sight accuracy and stability. Basically, they're making it a really close range gun now, almost like a fucking shotgun. Auto rifles are finally getting their buff. Rockets are getting more blast radius with the hand grenades and horseshoes, whatever the shit is. What is it, horseshoes and hand grenades, or hand grenades and horseshoes? You know what the one I'm talking about. Is being nerfed down a touch, since that shit was a little too easy to get kills. The change to the hand cannon distance now separates them from scout rifles, which is one of my biggest pet peeves. You know, hand cannons were better scout rifles than the actual scout rifles. So now they're going to get that separation between the two guns. Hard Light's going to get a stability buff. Lord of Wolves healing is now triple the effect or whatever the hell it is. Pulse rifles are getting more ammo, although they're still fairly weak against the AI and shit like that. Machine guns and sniper rifles really aren't being touched for the most part, except for the final round on the sniper rifles, which basically, now they're making it only a fucking co-op perk only, but whatever. I don't have too many issues with some of those things going on. Fusion rifles, though, are still one useless fucking weapon. It can't compete with shotguns up close. It obviously can't compete with a sniper at long range, and it has issues competing with the primary weapons in the sweet spot range. Essentially, the fusion rifle is one confused little gun that has no identity or purpose in the game right now. They need to do something about it. I don't know what they're going to do to adjust it, but it desperately needs a little bit of help. Shotguns were buffed against the AI in the last patch, and now they're having a little bit of that damage taken away. But the 3 biggest kicks in the dick were the Gjallarhorn, Icebreaker, and Black Hammer. I mean, seriously, that was one kick to the left nut, one kick to the right nut, and a rusty nail shoved right into your pee hole type level pain, man. For my lady subscribers, that's essentially the feeling of getting punched in each tit in a cunt punch. Black Hammer. Holy fucking shit. Really, Bungie? Really? We have a perk that rewards accuracy. We have a perk that rewards skill. You don't lose your ammo for hitting 3 headshots in a row, but now you have to burn your reserve ammo if you land headshots. What? What the fuck is the point of the perk? The only benefit for now is that you don't have to reload if you're accurate. What kind of fucking shit is that? You know, aside from maybe 2 to 3 bosses, which I'll address during the Gjallarhorn rant that I have a little bit later, hitting shit in the fucking face takes accuracy, timing, and precision. It's not easy outside of a walker tank or a servitor to hit something in the face 3 times in a row while something is shooting at you. So that 3 bullet bonus was fantastic. Now it's like any other sniper rifle in the game, and the perk is utterly pointless with no ability to remove it or re-roll it for something better. Bungie says this was killing bosses too quickly. Well, no shit, because your bosses just fucking stand there with their thumb up their ass. You know, if you wanted to fix this ammo shit, then what it should have been was 1 bullet comes from your reserve. If you land all 3 headshots, instead of having 12 bullets remaining, now you will only have 11. Now, if you land all of your headshots, you'll end up with 9 ammo. And if you land those, then it'll be 6. And then if you land those, it'll be 3, then nothing. This is by far the most pointless nerf they created because it all but eliminates the purpose of that perk. I don't mind a minor tweak or adjustment. I don't mind losing 1 bullet as opposed to 3 bullets, but taking away the entire fucking perk is utterly pointless. Speaking of a perk that got nerfed for no reason, the Icebreaker. Did anyone in the world complain about the Icebreaker? No, of course not. And this was a straight kick in the dick if there ever was one. Instead of your ammo regenerating in 5 seconds, now it takes 8 seconds before a bullet returns to the weapon. What the fuck? What purpose does that serve, especially now in long drawn out fights with fucking Gjallarhorn? The only thing this is going to affect is the people who needed to shoot oracles from the top platform in the Vault of Glass, who will now need to bring a scout rifle for later rounds. What a stupid fucking change this was. But the ultimate blow was obviously the Gjallarhorn. Now let me say this right off the bat. I know it's overpowered. I know it will still be the best rocket in the game as long as it has Wolfpack rounds and they do nothing to the base stats of the Gjallarhorn. I don't mind a minor nerf to it because it is that overpowered. However, Bungie's logic is the fucking problem. They specifically said when people build teams, they exclude those without a Gjallarhorn when making a fire team, and that Gjallarhorns are the main strategy for any boss fight. Are you fucking serious, Bungie? First of all your bosses are fucking bullet sponges. There's no strategy for any of the strike bosses other than to keep hitting them with everything you have. Ballista R, Excepix Prime, the Nexus, Atheon. There's one thing to do. hit him as hard as you fucking can, and the Gjallarhorn is what did that. Other than Omnigul, not a single boss has an elemental shield. Sure, the Gjallarhorn cuts through that shit like a fart cutting through an elevator with no ventilation. But if every boss is susceptible to the Gjallarhorn at full power, they're still gonna get fucked up by the rocket even with the nerfs because there's no goddamn variety with the bosses. Crota didn't need a Gjallarhorn. He just basically needed tracking rockets. Obviously the Gjallarhorn did a lot more damage than taking him down to one knee. And the only boss that ever asked for something other than a Gjallarhorn was Skolas during the first weeks when there was an elemental burn damage. When he was susceptible to arc and void burn, people hit him with arc and void damage. But once they removed the burn damage, what happened? The Gjallarhorns came back. Yes, incredible fucking logic, Bungie. Make lazy boss designs and then take the lazy approach to fixing your boss designs by lowering the highest DPS weapons damage. How fucking stupid is that? The best part was that people don't include other players because they don't have a Gjallarhorn. If this wasn't the biggest load of bullshit you ever heard, because you know why? The game doesn't have team building in the first fucking place. Holy shit, there's no matchmaking for raids or nightfalls where the Gjallarhorn is most prevalent. So when we go to outside websites and we depend on randoms as teammates, of course, we're gonna be picky. I don't know if some random is decent or not, if he has his head shoved up his ass, but I do know that the Gjallarhorn kills shit quickly. Fucker just has to stay alive and fire that motherfucker to do some damage. If matchmaking were in the game, people getting excluded wouldn't be a damn problem. Think of the weekly heroic right now. Do people care if there's a Gjallarhorn? No, of course not, because you can't limit someone in that event. You're stuck with whatever you fucking get as teammates if you go into the optional matchmaking portion of the weekly heroic. So why wasn't that applied to Nightfall? Why wasn't that applied to at least the normal raids? Because of your shitty game design. Because your social game has no fucking elements of socially building a team. You think nerfing a gun fixes that fucking problem? It doesn't, asshole. It still doesn't change the fact you have bullet sponge bosses and no matchmaking. When the Gjallarhorn is still the best fucking weapon, guess what's gonna happen? People are still going to be excluded because they don't have the fucking Gjallarhorn. Look, I love my Gjallarhorn. Matter of fact, I love all 3 of my Gjallarhorns. Matter of fact, I love all fucking 15 that I've gotten in this game. Yes, man, I've gotten that many fucking Gjallarhorns. But I know it's overpowered, but your logic that people can't get into rooms and bosses are killed too easily highlights the fact that this isn't a gun issue. It's your shitty game making that's the issue. If you really want balanced guns, then what you should be doing is called balancing up. In other words, making other weapons more viable. Make the Truth or the Thunderlord better so that they can compete with the Gjallarhorn. Make fusion rifles better so people will use those instead of just nerfing a shotgun. Make auto rifles better instead of just nerfing everything else other than the 3 fucking exotic hand cannons. And this moment right here, this exact reason, is where Bioware shits all over your incompetence. They tweak their game each week with hot fixes while you take months to patch things. They would take 1 or 2 guns that needed adjustments, let it play out, and see if there was anything that needed to be adjusted from there. Bungie, on the other hand, lets shit play out for months, then redesigns the whole fucking game and blames their incompetence on the users for being selective. Oh, you're taking people only with Gjallarhorns. That's right, motherfucker, because your bosses are bullet sponges. They don't fucking do anything other than stand there and say, shoot me, bitch. So when you roll out this next patch, when you change all these fucking guns, when you nerf these exotics, buff the other few, and you find out that something else gets fucked up in the game, guess what? We're gonna have to wait till December for another fucking patch? Come on, man. Bungie, get your fucking shit together. I don't think you know how to manage Destiny. I think it's very clear that in a year of playing this game, you're fucking clueless. You have this grand vision for the way the game wanted to be played, yet the implementation, management, and maintenance of it is incredibly fucking poor and terrible. All this potential pissed away because you can't get your shit together. If you need a clue on how to run a game, just look at what Bioware did with Mass Effect 3 all those years ago. Weekly updates, tweaking little shit, seeing how it plays out, and if you need to come back and make some more updates, you do so in the next following update, the next week, the next basic hotfix. Instead, you wait 5-6 months until shit is completely broken and players are pissed off, and then you change everything in the fucking game, and we have no idea whether or not these changes are gonna work or not. Last time you buffed the Thorn because it sucked so bad, and look what fucking happened. The Suros was overpowered and you nerfed it, look what fucking happened. The problem isn't the guns, the problem isn't the players, the problem isn't the community, the problem is you, Bungie. You're the single thread that is the fucking cause of all these goddamn issues, and for whatever reason, you have your head shoved so far up your ass that you can't even see all this bullshit that you keep spraying. Anyways, you guys knew that gun rant was gonna be coming. See, don't touch my Gjallarhorn, that's all I gotta say. Anyway, that does it for another rant on fucking Destiny and all the bullshit that Bungie puts us through. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.